What's up, everybody? We are live with the front door. If you just logging in, we're going to start showing everybody, sharing it with everybody. So in about maybe about 2 minutes, then we're going to have Marco joining us, BachaTito, as we call him. So he'll be joining us as well. And Marco, we got 2 people already. Woo! it's all going to be good. Just let you know that we're going live, and we're going to have a DJ one-on-one interview. Okay, there we go. Start inviting some people, start people coming in, and it's going to be all good and stuff like that. So that's the beauty of it. Hey, Ruby, Eddie, Jules, thank you for joining us. In 2 minutes, we're going live with Marco BachaTito, DJ BachaTito. He is getting set up, getting already. And Carlos, what's happening, man? Joining us, you guys. Thank you, all you guys, for joining us. This is going to be a good one. No different here because you'll see what Marco has a preview. You'll get to hear him talk, stuff like that. All right, Marco, getting about 11 people. Everybody's joining in. Thank you for joining. Please.
What? Where did you share it from?
Marcos. Oh, you joined yourself. Okay. Carlos, what's up? How you doing? You ready?
1 second. I'm just trying to live. Here.
He's getting out of his pajamas.
What page do you have it on again, so that I can share it from your page?
The 4 Fantastic Events page, my admin page.
Of course.
John Guzman, hey, that was right. That was one of my guys I interviewed. Hey, what's going on, man? Guys, there you are. Hey.
All right, almost. I'm just let me get. I got about 4 pages to share this to. So.
Woo, good for you. I got Eddie Garcia. What's up, man? People are coming in. Ooh. Carlos, what's happening, man? Let's do this. Carlos Masas. There you go. Here we go. I think I picked a good time. That it's not late, it's not too early. Some of the essential workers, thank you for joining us and stuff like that. Shouts out to you guys. Everybody out there, if you're working, in the streets and the grocery stores, all that stuff. We thank you for your service and stuff like that. Leo, happy birthday, Leo, by the way. Happy birthday, Leo. He was supposed to be on the show. He's supposed to join us for the show. And I know it's his birthday, so I'm glad everybody's healthy. He's also a nurse as well. I don't know if you realize that, Leo. So shouts out to you. Props to you, essential workers and stuff like that. So here you go.
We're almost there.
All right, no problem. We're here. We got a whole hour with you.
Can't wait.
That's cool.
So share that to.
All right, so since you're sitting up, okay. You guys, give my spiel about what this is. This is going to give you some background information about everybody that I'm working with or everybody that I interview. In this scene, a lot of you guys might know who I am because of DJ Prieto. They have done, and one of the things that I do, I want to create sort of a format for people that I work with, people that I've known, people that are in part of the scene, and essential parts of the scene that we're doing in the tropical and the Latin and the hip hop, you name it. Every genre, we're talking to all these DJs, producers, some artists as well that's coming up. It's been actually a really, really positive aspect because now, I literally have every day somebody I'm going to be talking to all the way to, God, June. So that's a month and a half away every day and stuff like that. So it's great. It's gotten actually kind of really big. So I'm happy for that. So he's setting up his Instagram, his TikTok,
Everything.
and
I got like 4 or 5 pages I got to share too here.
woo, there you go. There you go, baby. That's what I like.
Oh man, I appreciate the invite.
No problem. No problem.
Excited to be here.
DJ Elite, what's up? Gonzo, you join us as well. So that's the cool thing is that, I guess cool, with other DJs coming in and stuff like that. Yeah. So I see who you're sharing it, your point of view bottle, bote. So that's cool.
All right, one more page and then I'm ready to rock and roll.
Yeah. What up? What up? What up? Oh, that's pretty good. Pretty good. We're close to 1,000 people.
Nice. I don't know if you're being facetious or what.
Yeah.
All right. So there goes that.
Yep.
There goes that. All right.
Okay.
I think I'm ready to rock and roll, Prieto. Let's do it.
Let's do it. Watching a lot of people, first thing I always tell everybody, let everybody know who you are, because some people have never, they on the show, but they don't know who you are per se.
For sure.
Believe it or not.
It's all good. So first of all, thank you for having me. I've been trying to keep myself busy, staying low, social distancing, but trying to stay afloat throughout all this. So it's kind of exciting to be here doing an interview with you and kind of socializing with somebody over the internet. So, I've been just taking some personal time and just really just focusing on some back end stuff of my businesses and trying to get ready for hopefully us to open back up pretty soon. But for those that don't know, my name is Marcos Ramos Garcia. I'm also known as BachaTito on Instagram and TikTok and Facebook and whatnot. I am the director of Work Latin Dance Company here in Milwaukee. I'm also one of the co-producers of the Chicago Salsa and Bachata Festival, which unfortunately this year, due to the coronavirus, we had to postpone. But we think that we made the best decision. I know, right? We made the best decision for everybody. At the end of the day, our patrons and our guests are our number one focus. So we wanted to make sure everybody stayed safe. So I'm from Milwaukee. I do some work in Chicago, obviously. And I'm a business owner, a few different businesses, but I've been in the Latin dance scene where I've known you, Prieto, for almost 10 years now. So going on 10 years, next year will be my 10-year anniversary of actually dancing and being in the dance scene. So.
Okay. And the question I guess that I'm going to ask is, how did we meet?
Were we drunk or were we sober?
How did we meet? How was it that,
I believe that we met, the first time was I was invited to Alhambra for a pre-party for the Chicago International Salsa Congress. This was probably back in 2012, 2013. And you always host the Tuesday pre-party right before the event, just like you do for the Chicago Salsa and Bachata Festival. And I believe we met there. Was the first time we actually ever crossed.
I believe it was Andy Lyric Cruz that's the one who put that together, right? If I'm not mistaken. Shouts out to Andy. He just texted me, actually. He just showed me his choreographed reel. Oh my God, incredible. So shouts out to Andy. Andy, if you know Andy Lyric Cruz, he's big time. Hey, he surpassed everybody. So
he's helped a lot of people and inspired a lot of people, and I'm definitely one of them. So I like to call him Big Papa. Big Papa definitely inspired and helped me out in my early dance career.
So the way I met you as a dancer first, that's what you were dancing. Your partner was Tabitha, if I'm not mistaken, at the time, or was it?
I was later than that. I actually, my very first time actually dancing for a professional group out of Chicago was I danced with Gifted Souls.
Okay.
Milwaukee and Chicago, and that's actually the first group that and the first way that I got onto the Chicago dance scene. I did some things here in Milwaukee and whatnot with a couple of groups, but and then eventually breaking away and doing my own thing. But yeah, I would say Gifted Souls for sure is one that helped me network and really get out there in the Chicago dance scene.
Okay. Yeah. And then when did you decide to actually, I mean, you still dance, and I'm assuming you still dance, but when did you decide to go into the DJ aspect of it? When did that happen for you?
I've always been, ever since a child, I've always been really into music and DJing, more so on the hip hop side is what I really fell in love with first. It really intrigued me. And just being a part of the Latin dance scene and having a few mentors and dance and business advisors myself that are DJs, I thought it'd be a cool thing to kind of just look into. For those that don't know, I also own a nightclub here in Milwaukee. And
Yep.
so a lot of good friends of mine are DJs that are known here around Milwaukee and in the Midwest and that travel. So just watching them and just really getting inspired and like, hey, let's play around with the music. I already do it with choreography and with dance, so why not just do it with the music as a whole,
Well, and I'm going to tell you from my experience. I remember going to Milwaukee, and this is obviously you're a lot younger than I am, but there wasn't a huge tropical scene in Milwaukee, if I'm not mistaken, until probably about, I want to say about 10 years ago. It got really big. I know they had the Waukegan, was a lot of people come from Milwaukee to Waukegan, and that's where, especially like the Puerto Rican community would come from, and I knew one of the guys who did the Puerto Rican festival per se in that area. And I remember going to, I think there was one club, this is going back maybe 15 years ago, that I knew about in Milwaukee that was doing, and then you've seen the growth of it. If you were there from the very beginning and stuff like that.
Yeah, I was a part of probably, in my opinion, where the tail end of the salsa era here in Milwaukee. I mean, it's no secret that obviously bachata has blown up everywhere, and obviously me dancing bachata myself. That's actually where a portion of my name that I go by on Instagram and my DJ name comes from. But I was actually the first person to bring a bachata dance team here to Milwaukee with Milwaukee Touch, and that's kind of where we'll get into that later as far as my relationship with Island Touch kind of started. But yeah, in Milwaukee, around the time that you're talking about, the main Latin dance club was the Warehouse, and I used to do a lot of work with them, promoting and bringing artists and doing concerts and stuff like that. So yeah, the Warehouse, unfortunately, RIP, Warehouse is kind of the owner sold it and retired, and there is no more Warehouse. So it's a little sad, but that was one of the meccas for us here in Milwaukee.
Right, but because of that, it opened up a lot of new business opportunities. Am I correct for you guys and stuff like that?
Absolutely, absolutely. I mean, like I said myself, I now own my own nightclub
Right.
here in Milwaukee, and the Warehouse definitely inspired me to want to get into the service industry for sure. But just with me doing events there, me doing performances, lessons, and whatnot, I just I saw it as an opportunity to create and put on experiences for people where I pretty much controlled everything, and I enjoy that.
Well, and there's no like, I'm not going to beat around the bush. Let's be honest with you. When it comes to bachata, it's a much younger crowd, and that's a fact.
Yep.
And the scene, like the touch events and stuff like that, but the bachata dancers are a much younger crowd. Just to be clear, like for instance, we were playing, and it is a true story. I was DJing at a place called Infinities, which is the old Saceros. It was called Andromedas. And I remember a Dominican girl comes up to me.
My bad. I jumped on Instagram.
Oh, yeah. I mean, we got quite a few people. Hey, what's going on? A-Rod is coming on. Tito, Leo again, Alan. Hey, there's a bunch of people. So I mean, and one of the things and this was right when merengue was hot. This is right when merengue was hot. Salsa kind of has always been there, but it was never the forefront of the scene. It was always the merengue, and there was the merengasos and stuff like that. And then I remember this place that, like I told you, Infinity, and I want to say it was 96, 97, is a girl comes up to me and tells me, hey, can you play some bachata? And me, I never heard the name before, and I go, isn't that a Mexican drink? Because I thought she was saying horchata, and she goes, no, if I bring you the CD, and it was Los Diana and Los Bachateros. That's what's the name of the CD, and the song was called "Killing Me Softly" with his song, but in bachata. So the true story is that Luis Rolling Rivera, one of the DJs that we know, which he DJed with over there at the Salsa Congress with you when I was there, when I had my booth there. He used to work at the store, and he asked me to. I asked him, "Hey, show me your bachata selection," and he literally brought me to a bin of 15 bachata CDs, and that was it. That was it. So I got the best of 1989, 1990, 91, 92. Like I literally picked up, like out of his 15 that he had, I bought 8 of them because that was it. Bachata. That was the faster, kind of the Dominican.
At that point, I'm sure the game of bachata had not evolved, and there was only a handful to choose from at that point.
And there wasn't a lot of places in bachata. I was very fortunate because then I made the mixtapes with bachata, and we started seeing that here in Chicago kind of blow up. But bachata changed, and you know this for a fact because all of a sudden, who was singing bachata then and who was singing it at and it probably changed more so when Aventura came out. Handsome looking guys and stuff like that, and all of a sudden there was an explosion because it became very commercialized in a sense like that.
Yep.
But then. And nothing to take away from Aventura. Aventura still to this day are still doing well. But then that also changed the style of dancing for bachata as well. And that's where you guys came in and the younger people came in. And that became, am I correct, bachata sensual. That's where.
Yes, for me, I never like to put names. I mean, obviously there's always subgenres and stuff like that, but
Right.
my main thing is bachata, salsa, merengue. Everything always evolves. Dance always evolves. Life, the world, everything evolves. So there's always going to be change. And I just feel like people need, they can either accept it or they can, maybe I'm not really feeling that. I'm just, it is what it is. But I don't like when people downplay or down talk different genres that they, kind of make up and give for certain stuff. So guess you could say it is a little more sensual, a little more passionate, but I feel like all bachata is really passionate and deep and whatnot. And just listen to some of the lyrics, even the old school songs and some of the things that they were really singing about. You know what I'm saying?
Great. Well, now here comes the obvious, because of the pandemic. Okay, because we know bachata is a very close connecting dance. Yeah. Now things have changed dramatically for that scene, for the bachata scene. It changed for the salsa scene, but more so for the bachata scene now.
Yeah, everything has changed, man. Everything, coming out of this, there's going to be some adapting and some adjusting, but I just try to stay positive and keep the faith and keep the hope alive that sooner or later, our scientists and our frontline workers are going to do their magic and create a vaccine or create some kind of cure for this unfortunate pandemic that we're going through. And hopefully sooner or later we can get back to business as normal. But it's definitely going to affect, for sure, socials, events, everything, because of course, people are going to be skeptical as to wanting to get closer than 6 feet after this.
That's going to be big time, I guess, a concern for a lot of people, just because of the fact that it's, and trust me, I do events 5 nights a week here in Chicago, and and now I'm doing absolutely nothing. I can't do anything and stuff like that. And you own a business, so you're not just coming from a promoter point of view. You own a business and stuff like that, and and that's a bar. So it's not there's a twofold that you're a bar. There's people that come there to drink and they come there to dance. They can't even go into the room anymore and stuff like that. So I mean, I feel for you, and and that's your livelihood. I mean, I know you. How long have you guys been open for now?
So right now I'm in my third year.
Okay.
Nightclub, and just last year I actually walked away from my full-time job after 10 years to open up a restaurant and kind of really fully expand into the service industry. And so back June of 2019, I actually resigned from a 10-year career at UPS corporate, and it allowed me more time and more flexibility to do things that I wanted to do. So, but again, nobody saw this pandemic coming and whatnot. So who would have thought? But we're here, and we just head down and execute, and just try to like I tell people, I'm laying low but trying to stay afloat.
Well, I mean, your partners are also the guys from the Touch events out in Orlando, and I know that Rudy and those guys and stuff like that. Um, they do bigger things. They do a lot, like I have how 6 cities, 7 cities, or something like that they do. So and then there's the Aventura cruise as well that got shut down as well. So there was cruises that.
Actually, just give me a second not to interrupt, but I want to just touch on that so people know. And I actually just spoke with Moshe yesterday, who's the organizer of Aventura Dance Cruise, because I'm scheduled to go on that in November. And he's staying very positive. The cruise lines are staying very positive. They're staying on top of things as far as regulations and things that they're going to need to do come November to reassure people that the cruise will be safe. It will be they're going to do their due diligence as far as testing and whatnot, and making sure that the event can carry on. But they're still being optimistic that they're going to be able to have it in November. I mean, I really hope that they can. Trust me, I know the feeling, just like you said, as far as doing events. My partners with Island Touch, really feel. I mean, Chicago Salsa Bachata Festival, BachaTito, which we were supposed to bring back this year, which everybody was very excited about in May. It's not going to happen. So I really hope that Aventura is able to happen. But I did speak with Moshe yesterday, and he told me that they were moving forward, and they were optimistic that they were going to be able to have it.
Well, I mean, we're talking long term, because obviously, what's happening now, what's happening next month compared to what's happening 5 months from now. It's a real, and I would say to everybody that's out there, all we can hope is for the best and stuff like that. Listening to the mayor today saying, "Oh yeah, it doesn't look like anything's gonna be open to June." I'm like, "Oh man, how are we going to deal with that?" I mean, we've been dealing with this 1 month, and trust me. And I hear it from both friends and family. Some people are extreme about it, and some people are kind of laxed about it. And it's like, oh yeah, I'm afraid if we do this, more people are gonna die. Who wants anybody to die? Seriously, nobody wants that. Nobody. That's just the bottom line and stuff like that. But then at the same time, everybody's like, man, I miss dancing. That's like, whatever dancing is.
Yeah, I miss it too, man. I was just talking with somebody the other day about some of the times where I would go to socials, or I would go to Latin dance festivals, and I would be either too tired, or I wouldn't want to go down to socialize, or I would do my DJ sets and kind of just chill up there. Man, do I wish I would have taken advantage and of that. You know what I'm saying? And so I really hope that we can turn this around, like I said, and get back to it. But I just people are going to be judgmental regardless of when things open back up, and who goes to what and who participates in what. And it's just like, I get it. But it's in all of our best interests to do what's best in our eyes for ourselves and for the people that are around us and that we're close to, whether that be family. I know for myself, with my mother being a little older, I tended to kind of distance myself, unfortunately, and the same thing with my son, who I know she misses and wants to see dearly, but she hasn't. She had the opportunity to see him actually this past weekend, but before that, it had been like 2.5, almost 3 weeks. So It's just, taking the precautions. And even after when this is all done, it's not like we can jump back in. Like I said, like everything's going to be back to normal. It's really not. But it's just, taking the appropriate measures to hopefully overcome this pandemic and
Martha said, Martha's online, so Martha, Zumba.
Okay.
Sad. Yeah, it's one of the budget that does as well. So I mean, that's what, I guess, and that was one of my interesting aspect of talking to you, because you come not only just as the DJ, but you come as a owner of a venue as well, and you come as a dancer as well. So all three factors it's hurting you all three. It's triple.
Yeah, and I talk to people about it, and a lot of people here in Milwaukee know, but I don't know if people in Chicago know, but I was myself and a couple partners were opening, or I should say are opening a restaurant here, and we were literally in the middle of remodel and demo when all this hit, and we had to stop because we didn't know, what was going to happen. We had, workers on the scene and whatnot, but fortunately we've continued with the renovations and the demo, and we're hoping to be open come the end of this lockdown, which our governor, Tony Evers, actually extended to May 26th.
Right.
So right now, Wisconsin will not be opening up until May 26th. But yeah, man, every aspect of my income at this point right now, and everything that I'm a part of and that I own and run and operate has come to a screeching halt. But you stay positive. Thank God I've been blessed in a situation where I've been able to save, and the businesses have been doing good. So just hoping that we can overcome this and we come out on top.
I mean, that's there's nothing for sure. And even if this wasn't a pandemic, there was nothing for sure in the sense of how what's going to be successful and stuff like that. One of the things that I gotta honestly say, just in case that people don't know, the Bachata Festival that you guys do, the CSBF that you guys did, phenomenal. I've been involved with you guys now since the beginning. I think this would have been the 5th year, if I'm mistaken.
Yeah. Let me see. 20. Yeah, you were. Yep. Did you come to Milwaukee at all, or no? Did you come to Milwaukee when I did it?
No. I was here in Chicago. I was Chicago.
2015, 2016.
Right. So this would have been the 5th year, and I know that was and you always had, and Mark was the one that hires me to DJ and stuff like that, and I always DJ in the salsa room and stuff like that. Well, I appreciate that. Thank you very much for that.
Of course.
And one of the things that I honestly say is that what I can tell, what works out great for me, for what I do and everything like that, there's always going to be somewhere where somebody needs a doorway into this business. And in this business, and what I mean in this business, or should I say the dance business aspect of it, is that bachata for a lot of people is is easier to learn. Then they gravitate. It was funny because Andy did Andy Cruz. I seen him do a bachata routine, and I've never seen Andy do a bachata routine before. And but it was phenomenal. It was great, and that's what where Andy is more of a mambo dancer, and he's up there when it comes to the dancers. But when it comes to bachata, I noticed that there's people that learn bachata, and they're really good at it. Right. Now they gravitate to salsa, or let's say they were going to do a salsa routine. It becomes a little bit of a challenge because now you're doing 1, 2, 3, 5, 6, 7, and doing these turns and stuff like that. Where but it's all good because of the fact that people there's like, okay, let me do bachata, then let me do salsa, then let me do mambo, and let me and there's other things that I think a different crowd that maybe wouldn't be like if they tried salsa for first, it was like, oh, it's too hard, forget it, I'm not gonna do it. Yeah. So the other discussion that I want to see, and I want your opinion about it, is, and I know this is going to bring up some people to talk and stuff like that. What is your feeling compared to like socials and nightclubs? How does that discussion that's always talked about?
Right, you broke up a little bit. So the question was, what are my feelings on the nightclub versus socials, the setting?
Correct.
I mean, to each their own, you know what I'm saying? Like for myself, I got inspired to dance by going to a nightclub. And it's a funny story about how I started dancing. There was this older white guy named Tom here in Milwaukee who's an awesome salsa dancer. He's been dancing for years. And he's real cool, chill, laid back. And I was at Warehouse, actually, the nightclub that I talked about. And he was dancing with all the good looking women. I'm telling you, like all the good looking women. I'm like, yo, I asked my brother, how is Tom getting all the honeys right now? This is just, I'm not understanding this. I'm telling you, they were like lined up for this guy. And I remember him dancing with this young lady who I thought was attractive. And I told my brother, man, you know what? I got to learn how to dance salsa. This is it. Next week or something, I'm figuring it out. I'm going to find some class. I'm taking. And literally right after I said that, the very next song, that same young lady comes up to me and asks me to dance. And I was like, I was stuck. I was like, well, I've had too many beers. I'm good. Maybe next time. But no, I mean, it's going back to your question. I mean, I think it's just preference. Some people like a little more of a safer feeling of an environment, whether they're going somewhere by themselves or they're meeting somebody there, or they're not very social, I guess, so to speak, or they don't drink. For those type of people, I think that socials are it for them, and they like that. But the nightclub is a whole nother scenario, because at the end of the day, the owners and the promoters want people there that are going to drink, that are going to pay cover, and we all know about how some of our dancers can be a little stingy when it comes to supporting the bar or even paying covers. But so I think different strokes for different folks. And me personally, I like a little bit of both. I mean, if I get a social that's BYOB and I get to bring my own bottle, while I'm DJing or I'm dancing, that's pretty cool. But I mean, I feel like it's different, so it depends on the mood and what you really want to encounter. If you're really looking to go dance, I mean, even in Chicago, I mean, aside from Alhambra, what has been a prominent Latin dance club there? It's has been some time. Other than that, it's usually just socials or studios, right?
Well, there's a twofold for that, and I think that's where Chicago dynamics play a part into there's the mega clubs are done. Let's be honest with you. The mega clubs are gone. The clubs that were basically like, let's say Excalibur, 720,
Tumbao, was it? I think there was way back in the day.
Well, Tumbao was a lounge, actually.
Okay.
That's where club aspect changed. I think if you
my Instagram.
remember what happened when I got Alhambra, if you remember, that was kind of something that didn't happen, because I remember the conversation was, oh, you're going to get Alhambra. What day are you going to do it? Tuesday. What? A Tuesday? Why don't you do it on a Friday and Saturday? I go, no, on a Tuesday, because I have no competition. And everybody, because the truth is I didn't have any competition. Everybody came to Alhambra, and hence, and I mean, we've been there where 700 people are there on a Tuesday, but and our joke to a lot of people were like, there's clubs on a Friday and Saturday can't do 700 anymore, unless you bring in like a big name DJ from Europe or something like that, and there's plenty of clubs that do that. But let's be honest with you. If that's the case, then they're charging $20 at the door or something like that, whereas, on a Tuesday, I'm charging what, a 5 or 10, or, it was always a very, very comparable price. But then you got to remember, there was also the fact that they were doing the classes, and we're doing, live music. There's all these positive factors. Whereas on a Friday and Saturday, you're limited to 9 to 3 in the morning. That's it. And I mean, whereas like Alhambra, I did it from 7 o'clock until 2 o'clock in the morning. So you had those parameters. So that made the difference of the dynamics in the nightclub aspect of as far as a Latin club per se. And let's say Tumbao, I'll give you for instance, Tumbao was a restaurant as well. So they relied on restaurant and pretty much even Dylan's, they relied on restaurant aspect of it. And then here comes the restaurant crowd. and here comes the nightclub crowd. So for us, like as me as a promoter on a Friday and Saturday, I became the extra money they made, for that night, because they had a restaurant business, all the way until 8 o'clock. 8 o'clock, they were like, and true story, Dylan's, we're going on 9 years ago that we started Dylan's. And I remember the first night we did Dylan's, I remember the bartender asking me at about 10:30, hey, what time are we closing up here? I go, and it was a Saturday night. And where Dylan's is, it's right across the street from the metro station. And I guess at 10:30, they would close down because there was, it was a ghost town in that area. And I go, oh, 3 o'clock in the morning. And they go, oh, well, we normally close at 10:30. I go, never again. And sure enough, never again, and stuff like that. So that changed, like I said, the dynamics of depending on, and if you notice, if other than like the Drake, when I do the Drake Hotel, the Drake Hotel is a Drake Hotel and stuff like that. But when you come to places that, and I tell always the club owners or anything that we do, listen, the dynamics of when it comes to Latin people, you have to have people that eat and dance now. That seems to be the kind of the winning formula for a Latin nightclub now, because people
you gotta have drinks too, brother.
Well, no, I know that, but what I'm saying is that if people eat, people dance, and then they drink. That's kind of the format. They'll go there and they'll do the restaurant thing, and then they take a little class and stuff like that, and it works out for, I guess, the dynamics in Chicago. And that's what works for Chicago salsa scene per se, or the tropical scene and stuff like that. But you're right, there is nothing on a Friday and Saturday here that could say it's a true Latin big club of 500, 600 people. No. And even in the other crowd, let's be honest with you, let's say a reggaeton market or the dance market or stuff like that. There's some clubs that are open up and stuff like that, but look what happens. A lot of them they bring in the wrong crowd, and hence what happened with Green Dolphin per se. They get closed down and stuff like that. So it's a
balance, man. You gotta, speaking from somebody that owns a club, you gotta balance and have the right amount of people there, that are gonna be conducive to the environment and the experience you're trying to create, but also to spend money. At the end of the day, you're a nightclub and you sell alcohol, like you need people in there drinking, but responsibly. That's the other thing. So yeah, I get it. Trust me, from somebody with experience.
I think for you guys in Milwaukee, I think it works out easier because we have a history of our clubs where you are basically kind of ground zero for the Latin scene per se. Yeah. So now you don't have the issues that we had, let's say, and I hate to use the word Green Dolphin again, but we've had some bad, issues with nightclubs and stuff, where you guys are at ground zero and you guys are doing actually creating the scene, and your scene is, you being open for 5 years, you guys now are going to be the forefront of whatever is going to happen to this sport, and kudos to you guys, because this is what's going to happen for you guys. Now you're responsible for the Milwaukee scene now.
Yeah, trust me, I know it's fun. It's been fun, man. I can't complain. I've been blessed. My staff is amazing. One of my staff members actually right now just commented on IG, asking me if it would hurt if I put on some Points View merchandise from time to time to represent. Next interview, Chris, I got you. I'll wear some Points View merchandise. But anyway, no, man, and for me, where we're located is very key. We're right on a very busy street here in Milwaukee that's right on the outskirts of downtown. So literally you can walk outside of my nightclub and you look to the left and you see downtown Milwaukee, which is awesome. But we're just sustaining the growth. And
so what is your I'm sorry, you had broken up a bit there.
Go ahead, I'm sorry.
What is your, if people want to go to Milwaukee, what would be the night that you would say, hey, this is popping, here it is, this is the night you want to go out?
We're only open Thursday through Sunday, and thank God we have good nights Thursday through Sunday.
Okay.
To be honest, Fridays are our Latin nights, Saturdays are a little more urban. Sundays is more of a industry crowd kind of, and people that still want to go out on a Sunday night. Believe it or not, our Sunday nights have been crazy for over a year and a half now. And shouts out to our promoters who started that, Orlando and Corey and some other promoters that joined afterwards. But literally, and when people, I get people that come up from Chicago all the time on Sunday night, because there's apparently nothing, urban or party like atmosphere to do in Chicago on Sunday nights. They'll come up and they can't believe how packed it is on a Sunday. So, thank God, like I said, we're open Thursday through Sunday. To be honest, after this pandemic, when we get to open back up, I might open up 7 days a week.
You might want to do that. I mean, just because
my pockets want me to open up 7 days. But it's fun in the moment, but there's a lot, like with any business, that goes on behind the scenes, and a lot of people don't know about, which I'm sure you know about, being in the, how long have you been promoting for, Brito? How many years now?
As far as what, being in the business?
Yeah, promoting, like being a promoter and working with clubs.
That's going as a promoter, 29 years. As being in the business, that's 43 years. I mean, that's
there's a lot that goes on behind the scenes that people don't know about, and a lot of politicking and whatnot. But we're here.
Well, yeah, I'm happy. I'm happy that you've taken it by the reins, as they say. Especially in Milwaukee. I think there needed to be something happening in Milwaukee and stuff like that. And I'm glad that you come here and you like it, what you did with the Bachata Festival and stuff like that. You guys have been, I can tell you honestly that when it comes. I even created the Bachata room for my Alhambra for Alice and stuff. So I know there was a niche as well. The Bachata niche is there, and and I get it. It's just funny to me because when I'm DJing, let's be honest with you, I get twofold. People don't like me to mix salsa, but then I mix bachata, right? And then the bachata's like, oh, why do you cut it off so quickly and stuff like that? We want to hear the whole song and stuff. And as a DJ, it's tough to they have that balance and stuff like that. But we also know bachata is easier to mix because it has that beat and stuff like that. Yep. And one of the things that I noticed that's happening, and I get my music, a lot of music is sent to me through the record book because I'm doing video mixing. That's one thing. Remember we were talking about the video mixing? Yep. There's a lot of remixes now coming out of all the pop stuff that's out there. I mean, oh my God, everything that's out there that's pop music.
That's a whole nother topic.
Right. It's all coming up bachata now, and it's bachata sensual, it's all that, 110 BPMs and stuff like that. And I'm talking DJ stuff. So some people who aren't DJs, they won't know, but it sounds beautiful. I mean, some of the bachata versions sound better than the original versions.
Absolutely. People don't understand, and people hate on the remixes and all that. And for the most part, I get it, especially Latinos are very proud. You know what I'm saying? Puerto Ricans are very proud. I'm Puerto Rican. Dominicans are very proud. I know a lot of them. And, they like their stuff and they don't want people to mess with it. I get it. But like you said, some of the remixes sound a lot better. And at the end of the day, what you're doing is you're creating a sound that, people that aren't very familiar with either, the origin of bachata, or the dance as a whole, and they hear a song that they like and they're like, oh my God, I can dance a Latin dance to this. This is awesome. And like you said, sometimes it sounds better than the original, which is cool. I mean, within reason, with balance. I don't want to hear a whole set of all remixes.
Well, just to give you an idea, did my kind of trying to do remixes, bachata. By no means am I a producer or anything like that.
Right.
But I made a song, a bachata remix.
Okay.
And I remember I was at somewhere where Farley Jackmaster Funk was at, and he and he's pretty well known in the house business. He's produced and stuff like that.
Right.
And he's like, oh my God, he heard it and he's like, dude, you need to show people that because that's going to grab another audience. Not just and here, Farley, who has no clue about bachata, right?
Right.
But he was totally impressed. It's on my YouTube page.
Okay. Josie, what's up, Josie? Hi, Erica.
And he was like, oh my God, I never heard anything like that. That sounds beautiful. That sounds great and stuff like that.
Right.
And I remember it coming from Farley, who's a house DJ, you know, and the house.
Well, that's what I'm saying. It's like when you you know, music is an emotional thing. You know what I'm saying? When you can tie, you have that emotional tie to something musically for somebody, you know, that's what draws them to, and that's what brings them to, you know, what it is that we do. And, you know, if they hear an English version of a bachata song, that's probably going to make them like it that much more. Okay.
So coming back to the what I was going to ask you. So did you have any house music roots in DJing? When you said you did hip hop, did you ever do anything with the
No,
house music?
growing up, it was more so hip hop and R&B for me growing up, and then I was
Okay.
salsa with my mother because she would play that every morning on the weekend, cleaning, waking me up.
On Sunday, Puerto Rican cleaning day, yes.
Waking up, listening to salsa. But for me, it was more so hip hop and R&B. But then I also, my older brother, Papo, used to love to listen to some Chicago stuff. He used to like listen to Bad Boy Bill and whatnot. And he used to play some house. So I used to hear a little bit of that. And you know, trust me, I enjoy it. When my boy DJ Josie has his house sets, I definitely tune in. So
Yeah, that's what. So I mean, just to give you an idea as far as me, because you know I don't speak Spanish, right? You know you know that already. I don't speak Spanish and stuff like. And how I got, and it was funny because in my grandmother's apartment building, she used to live on 21st and Cullerton, which is right there in the heart of Pilsen. There was, I don't know if you remember any of the apartment buildings, but there was always like a buildings. They would have like windows in the middle of the like they would have the apartment there, apartment next door, an apartment in the back, apartment. So there'd be like 4 apartments. But as you go up, it was a 3-story apartment building. And I remember on my mom, I'm an only child for my mom, and my mom used to work on at downtown, and I used to stay by my grandmother's house, and then come Friday and Saturday, I would stay there. And on Sunday morning, I just remember this because there was a Puerto Rican family living upstairs. Her name was Lucy, and they would clean on Sundays, and she would open up all the windows, and I would hear the song coming down the window, but it wasn't because I'm hearing the song. I'm actually sleeping by the window there, and I'll wake up to all this salsa. I mean, Eddie Santiago, and you know, Frankie Ruiz and all that stuff. So as I got older, maybe about 19, 20 years old, I would hear a song and I go, why do I know the words to that? Why do I know the songs? I'm like, oh my God.
Yeah, man. No, what's crazy is I was the same way. So my mother would always, like I said, play all the salsa songs growing up. And even like with, you know, her driving me either to school, she was playing it and I hated it. Oh, I hate this. Can I listen to something that, oh, it was the worst, especially in the morning when I was on my way to school. And it's like, man, I don't want to hear this. But she played all it. And then so it's crazy because I would say about my probably about my freshman, sophomore year of college is when I actually really started to like salsa. I'm like, uh-oh, what's going on here? I'm getting old. But so I just, you know, I started listening to stuff that I had already known about, you know, and whatnot, and what you know, coming from my mother.
I think to join because we would hear the we know like I remember hearing, you know, Frankie Ruiz, and all of a sudden I'm like, why do I know this song? Oh my God, I know this song. And then you hear me talk about it, that I started collecting the music. That's how I created my salsa merengue mixes, because I liked it personally. Right. I couldn't play in the club because we didn't have CD players. We were playing on vinyl and stuff like that. And I'm guessing because of that, when you started DJing, there was technically no vinyl or CDs. You were doing everything on computer, strictly. You're strictly computer. What do you use? Serato, Tractor, or DJ?
Serato. What's that? I've learned how to use both Serato and Record Box.
Okay. Yeah, so there, I mean, And that's where the technology has changed and stuff like that. So obviously the mixing became a lot easier for you guys and stuff like that. And nothing take away from the mixing aspect of it and stuff like that. I just and but you also DJ hip hop as well on the Serato and record boxes as well. What do you prefer? What do you like doing?
It depends on my mood.
Okay.
But I like hip hop, reggaeton, and bachata for sure. If I, for me, when it comes to salsa, I'm a heavy salsa romantica. Like I play all the salsa romantica. Like don't tell me I can play whatever I want in the salsa room because it's gonna be salsa romantica hour. I'll for people, but for me, I just in the salsa scene, what I've seen is that there's a lot of good salsa dura music, old school. But for me traveling, I love my DJs out west. I love them so much, and this is no shade. But they play a lot of mambo. That's just and that's all it is. It's just straight mambo, mambo, mambo. A lot of it's cool. You can groove to, but I've been places where it's just like, yo, just throw like one Ibeto Santa Rosa in there or something, or throw one, Frankie Ruiz, Eddie Santiago, something chill, and I know that a lot of the follows appreciate that too, because when I watch some of these leads dance with some of these fouls and they're just spinning them fast and they cross by lead, spinning them again, it's like, whoa, it's a relay race. It's like chill, bro. So I like to play a little bit more chill stuff. Preference wise, I would say I'm more of I would say reggaeton and bachata and hip hop for sure.
So I mean, so that's an interesting point about the reggaeton. So I was talking to, um, where do you think, I talked about the house DJs as well as the Latin DJs. What do you think about what's happening with reggaeton and music wise and stuff like that? What is your feeling about?
It's evolving. I love it. I love it. My very first reggaeton CD was my brother bought back from Puerto Rico. It was called Playero 41.
Yes,
And
I know it.
it was a double disc and it was fire. And if you like reggaeton and you've never heard Playero 41, you need to go get that ASAP. Fire. So that's where it started from, and to see where it's at now, I mean,
that was like 19. I think that was made in 1989 or something like that. It was like
yeah, it was old school for sure.
Yeah.
But, that was my first time hearing reggaeton, and I love it. I love evolution. Evolution in anything for me is awesome. If I get it, people get comfortable and they're like, I don't really like that. It's something new or something. I mean, people hate change. I love change. I love to see things evolve. I love to try different things. And it helps me when it comes to creating or some of the visions that I have and some of the projects that I have going on. So I love it. So I love where reggaeton is going right now. I love all the young and aspiring reggaetoneros. So I love it.
Yeah. So what is your plans for you? I think you mentioned about the restaurant. That's your plans for the upcoming the restaurant per se.
Right now, that's the main focus, is getting that ready. The restaurant, so it's twofold with the restaurant. It's called Mac and Cheese. But it's spelled MAKK, and the reason why it's spelled MAKK is because it's on a street here in Milwaukee called Kinnickinnick. For short, they call it KK. In the heart of Bayview, which is a very trending foodie area of the city. And so in the front part is going to be like a mac and cheese parlor. Basically, we'll have different bowls, different varieties of mac and cheese, different specials, different ingredients and condiments that you can add to your bowls. And then in the back, there's actually going to be a speakeasy. So there'll be a private lounge-like area called the Blind Tiger. And so it's twofold. We're opening both a lounge bar as well as a restaurant. So that's right now on the forefront for myself, as well as the nightclub. Hopefully when we get back to being able to have more than groups of 10 people at a time. Because I mean, even just opening up for 10, I mean, it's something, but I'd have to be open 8 days a week in order to even make anything. So,
right.
and also just CSBF, and I've been actually trying to get back a little more into dance. I have my own dance team here in Milwaukee, a group of young aspiring dancers that are like sponges that are amazing when it comes to learning and trying to grow into the scene. And so I've been trying to get back to a little more of that. I had to take a step back from traveling as much, just because of the businesses that I had before the club. I had a spice and seasoning company here in Milwaukee, and then the nightclub, which took a lot of my time to get off the ground and get running into a well-oiled machine like it is now. So done that. Now I'm on to the next thing that I like to put into the portfolio, which is a restaurant. And then who knows from there. I have a few things that I like to do with baseball. For those that don't know, baseball was actually my first love before dance and music. I played all my life, still play.
Oh, wow, I didn't know that.
Yeah. So I would like to eventually have my own baseball facility here in the inner city of Milwaukee for the youth. So, but we'll see. I don't want to put too much on my plate, but just trying to get back to dance and doing a little bit more with that and music and DJing and just creating. You know, I also have the Fiesta Dominicana here in Milwaukee, which I don't know how that's going to go this year. It's scheduled for August. Last year was our first year. It was an amazing turnout. We had Kevin Cosmos there, Ataca la Alemana, El Tigre, Bianca, and some other local groups and Chicago groups that came up. And then this year we were looking at possibly having Grupo Extra as well as Island Touch come back. But again, given what's going on here, I don't know. We'll see if that's even going to be a thing, you know, because obviously with the circumstances and us only being able to have a certain amount of people in a gathering at a time, I don't know how that's going to go, you know. So
Well, I know you guys are scheduled for 2021 for the
CSBF.
Yeah, the CSBF, and which is good.
Yeah, so we before even CSBF 2020, we had already inked an agreement with the same hotel for 2021. So we had the date already figured out. We had artists, which the lineup for 2021 CSBF is going to be, it's going to be mind blowing. It's going to be, and plus we're coming back from, you know, being on punishment this year. It's going to be just, you know, just to say the least. So
well, okay, so that was one of the questions I was asking a couple of the guys, is that when it opens up, what do you think's going to happen? What's your opinion about how everything's going to happen as far as it?
Listen, I told my staff that when we open back up, first of all, the first rule is that there's going to be no drinking on the job. We got to be on our P's and Q's. I think that people, especially at least here in Wisconsin, I mean, Wisconsin's a big drinking state, and I mean, it's one of the top in the country. And when it comes to bars per square mile or something like that, or per capita, we're like number one or number two. And so I think that with people having cabin fever and being locked up, and you know, just you don't know how many times or how many messages the club gets like, hey, can you guys just open up for a private party? Like, it's like, no, like it's not worth the risk, and it's just not worth the health risk. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
But so I think people are going to go bananas. I just really hope, and you know, when we do get that okay that we're going to open, we're going to preach and we're going to put out there that we want people to be responsible. We're going to encourage people to Uber. One of the things that I do at my club and that I'm launching is that we're going to pay people's Uber. So if you Uber to our club within a certain mile distance circumference around the distance around the club, we'll reimburse you for that, because we want people to drink responsibly and we want people to get home safely after they party with us. So
Okay, that's good. That's a good point. That's a good point. I mean,
we're working on something with Uber right now, just to, like I said, I mean, there's a lot of stuff, like you said, like, you know, that behind the scenes has to get done when it comes to running a business successfully and staying ahead of the curve and staying creative, especially in the nightclub and bar, and even with, you know, the events, you know, everybody's doing events, everybody, you know, has a bar, has a club. You got to just be creative and create an experience for people, you know what I'm saying? So that's what we've been working on. But when people, to answer your question, when it opens back up, people just be responsible, be smart. I get it. I want to go out and party. I actually haven't really been drinking or anything like you know, when it comes to owning and being in the business, you know, you tend to casually drink a little more socially because you're there, or, you know, for me, I get customers that want to either buy me a drink or buy me a shot and whatnot, but I literally haven't been drinking, which has been awesome. I've been able to, you know, exercise a little more, change my diet, you know, lose some weight, not drink as much, and not be hungry as much as, but I think that people are going to go, I don't know. I just really hope people are responsible.
Well, I mean, I the responsible and being owning a bar, you better hope that they want to drink.
Security will be in full force that first night, trust me.
That's cool. That's cool. And we got about 2 minutes left. So I mean, just wanted to let everybody know that this is, one of the cool things, and I think if you watch the past ones and then this current one and stuff, we're archiving all of this as well. I load everything up to my YouTube and stuff like that. I think it's really important that, I don't, let's be honest with you, we're in a day and age that, things are being archived through technology and stuff like that. And I think it's real important because who knows, Marco, God willing that your business comes to be, you have all these bars with the same name in every city in the United States, stuff like that. Who knows, mac and cheese, they would cut. So, but I can say to them, hey, you know what? I interviewed the owner of the place and stuff like that, and here's his humble beginnings and so forth. So that's the way I look at it. I look at this, and that's what everybody that I'm interviewing, and I don't know if I sent you the list, but it literally just everybody in the business and stuff like that. And in fact, I had messaged Andy that I'm going to talk to him. I'm going to try to get him as one of my interviewers as well, because Andy is important to
Oh, of course.
call to know what's happened in the scene, and you are a little different aspect because you're from Milwaukee, but you also have your Chicago ties. And obviously for the Bachata Festival, that is your Chicago ties, and it's your important stuff like that. Man, and I'm sure it's a lot of responsibility with the festival, as far as the work and stuff like that. I don't know if I ever told you that I looked into doing a Bachata Festival. What is it, way before? I don't know if I ever told you about that, and how I was like, oh no, this is too much. This is overwhelming. There's no way. That was a
team effort, man. I'm telling you, our Touch Events team is, bar none, one of the best. And I may be biased in that, but we have a lot of people that don't get the credit that they deserve because they are behind the scenes. But I wouldn't have it any other way, man. It's gotten to a point where it's just a well-oiled machine. Once the event's going, a start date, it runs itself, and we just help facilitate when need be. But trust me, I know it does take a lot of planning and lining up and making sure everything is good.
Oh yeah, and honestly, and shouts out to your team and stuff like that, because I gotta say they are beautiful people to me and stuff like that, and everybody I've met, all the guys and stuff like that. I if you guys never been to a Bachata Festival, definitely they can Google it, or how can they get in touch with it for you guys?
Yeah, I mean, just check out ChicagoSalsaBachata.com. Shouts out to Rudy Lopez. Shouts out to George Burgos. Shouts out to Tanya Kessinger and Bianca Derbo. They're part of Touch Events. They're also part of the Chicago Salsa Bachata Festival. ChicagoSalsaBachata.com or Chicago Salsa Bachata Festival on Facebook, as well as on Instagram. So check us out. The lineup for next year, 2021, is going to be ridiculous. We got a lot of people that we moved the date back this year, a couple of weeks, just for some operational purposes, and because that's when the hotel was available, because we switched hotels this year. Unfortunately, we didn't get to utilize a new hotel, but it'll be at the Hyatt Regency in Rosemont. And like I said, I mean, we focus on the education of music, dance, and we try to put out an experience where we bring these international, world-renowned artists from all over the world to come in and give
and dancers as well.
Yeah, dancers, and so trust me when I say that 2021 is going to be our best year yet, for sure.
Well, I mean, just to let everybody know, because I talk to people, and I guess it sounds surprising to me, but I talk to people that I know for a long time, and I say, yeah, I'm going to be at the Congress. I'm going to be at the Bachata Festival. And they have always said, what is that?
Right.
So I know in our realm, we know what we're talking about, but some people don't know what a festival or congress, because I can honestly, it's a conference, it's a festival, it's but they have, and let's be honest here, there's conferences, festivals, and all that, you know, for that have been well known. But like, for instance, the Chicago Salsa Congress has been here for 19 years. You know, shouts out to Rosita and Saladin for that and stuff like that. You know, and shouts out to Myrna because she's been a big supporter of everything for what's been here and with you guys as far as the festival as well. But I mean,
shouts out to Myrna for sure. And check out Myrna's Closet Wear online, everybody. Myrna's Closet Wear. Go check those dresses out and buy those dresses. Shouts out to Myrna.
Yeah, see, she's doing it. Well, you know, and I've known Myrna for, yeah, I think the 4 years, 5 years, but she's done incredible stuff here with the scene and stuff like that, and with the in the clothing business as well. So I mean, I just want to make sure to let everybody know that if you don't know what that is, these festivals and these congresses and stuff like that, and because am I correct? These festivals are happening all over the world. It's just not, you know, it's Bachata festivals has become a thing of the world now. It's not, you know.
Nowadays, I feel like there's a festival every other weekend, if not every weekend, somewhere in the world for sure. And just, you know, people, you know, I get a lot of people watching that may not be dancers. Like, it's okay. There's beginner classes that, you know, don't feel intimidated. I know a lot of people, even here in Milwaukee, like if I, you know, if they see me dancing, they get a little intimidated, but it's like, you know, I've been dancing for almost 10 years now. But there, you got to start somewhere, you know, and these congresses and these festivals are the place, in my opinion. You got a weekend where you can take literally 8 to 9 hours every day of workshops from different, you know, artists and different instructors. Like, why wouldn't you take advantage of that? You know what I'm saying? So check it out.
On top of it, it's fun. It's good for your health, you know, and honestly, that's, you know, but at the same time, you know, especially with this whole thing going on with the pandemic, we're going to even be, you thought it was being health conscious when it came to food and eating and exercise. Now we're in 10 times.
Yeah, man, it's important. And, you know, you know, for everybody, you know, Chicago, Milwaukee, everybody watching from other parts of the world, if there are, you know, stay positive, do your part, social distance. You know, we're going to get through this. You know what I'm saying? You know, there's light at the end of the tunnel. So, you know, you do your part and stay positive. I know things may be tough. I mean, things are tough for me right now, but, you know, I'm not jumping off the bridge. I'm keeping the faith and, you know, staying low, but staying afloat. You know what I'm saying?
All right. Hey, Marco, that's our time.
Awesome.
Guys, thank you very much. This is the front room. Thank you. Marco, any last words?
No, man, just I appreciate you having me on. You've always looked out and showed me love, so I appreciate that, Prieto. And, you know, I wish you and your family good health through this time and positivity, brother. So keep in touch.
Thank you.
All right, brother. Take it easy.